Hi and welcome to episode 3, finally posted. Even though it's late, we promise you this will be informational. So Xian will be leading us, and enjoy!
In our first session, we were discussing on the topic, the Father's heart. We understood that God has a heart for the lost, and He wants them to hear of His salvation. This brings us to our second topic, Jesus in flesh and blood. We first read this story about these two guys, Brandon and Dylan. Both are Christians, but Brandon's faith is not strong. Dylan had invited Brandon to his small group. One night as Dylan was sending Brandon home, Brandon stole one of Dylan's CD. A few days later, Brandon felt guilty and he confessed his action to Dylan. To Brandon's surprise, Dylan told him that he could keep the CD because Dylan had intended to give it to him. Brandon was shocked and yet touched because Dylan's action demonstrated the Christian love that he had heard so much but had rarely witnessed with his own eyes. From this point on, Brandon wanted to know Jesus even more. When God offered His love to the lost world, He came in the flesh as Jesus. He's still present today in people like Dylan and in people like you. In this session, we will see how much God loved us, enough to become human Himself. I open the session with this question: what if Jesus never came to earth? As we keep this question in mind, let's turn to John chapter 1, verse 1 to 14. This passage talks about Jesus being the Word, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among the people. For those who received Him and believed in His name, He gave them the right to become children of God. One of the questions we had discussed was, is it important that Jesus is both God and man? Jesus is God. He is the creator of the universe. In John chapter 1 verse 3, it says, through Him all things were made. To know that Jesus is God, we know that Jesus is sovereign and He is in control. Jesus became man, and like us, He faced temptations, physical sufferings, emotional pain. Therefore, He is able to empathize with us. In Hebrews chapter 2, verse 18, because He Himself suffered when He was tempted, He is able to help those who are being tempted. As we return to the first question, what if Jesus never came to earth? We realize the significant impact. We will have no one to empathize with us. Our God will be an impersonal God. All we ever know and hear is to love others, but we have no one to follow. And above all, if He never came and died on the cross for us, the message of His love would have never reached the Gentiles. We thank God not just because He is almighty, but also He is a loving God. Jesus came to dwell with us so that we may have someone who can empathize with us, someone whom we can follow after, and most importantly, someone who gives us life. As we wrap up this session, we are always reminded of our Father's heart, His heart for the lost, and also that Jesus had came in flesh and died on the cross for us. Then let us, being followers of Christ, to be filled with the passion of Christ and to spread His good news to the ends of the earth.
So that wraps up episode 3. So you can listen to episode 4 right away because it has already been posted.